Come on.
Yes, we bet them. Yes, get in. Come on. Yes, get in.
Yes.
Welcome to Loaded Mag NUFC. This is the reaction show to Newcastle United versus Manchester United. What a game. A lot of talking points here. But first, before any of that, Pete, I think it's time for one of these.
Come on.
Welcome to London Mag NUFC. Pete, how are you?
Oh, you know what? I needed that. You needed that. And all of you needed that tonight. Get in there. What a fucking win. Get in. Oh, buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. Buzzing.
Buzzing.
Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of love tonight for those boys out on the pitch. A lot of love. Deserve it. Thought they were absolutely superb. Brilliant performance. Despite people working against us again. Despite all of that, the boys dug in. Brilliant performance. I am absolutely buzzing. Daz, how are you, fella?
I'm good, and I'm good. I'm over the moon now, and I'm gonna have to apologize because I have to try and maintain some kind of volume here, or I'll wake everyone up in the house. So, but I want to ask someone else how he is. How are you, Chris Hall?
Hey. Oh, wow.
Absolutely, man.
See that or hear that? It's just spinning. I've only got you, Pete.
I'm here.
Oh, mate.
Get in.
Wow. What a second half performance.
What a performance.
Brilliant.
Boys, we're going to talk about. We have a lot of stuff.
Although I did say, Pete, didn't I? I did say that I was going to end up being frustrated because watching the game, I'm going, where's this Newcastle been? Where? Oh, hi, Daz. You've stopped spinning. Oh, mate. Oh, what a game. What a game. Sorry, I'm late, by the way.
No,
let's get in. We're sorry for waking up, Chris. But let's get into it. First of all, shades on, boys. I don't care.
I can't.
I'm doing shades. This was my derby. Right, boys, let's get into
I wonder what was sitting right next to me wanting to be a part of the show. Oh, it's these bad boys. It's these bad boys. Hello.
And before we actually get into Anthony as well, I did see a message from Dan United earlier. He says, enjoy the win, people. Full of flu, so get well soon, Dan. Stayed in bed to watch that shite. Enjoy all. That's what he says. But fair play, Dan.
Dan never shies away. The one thing you can say about Dan is that he never shies away. He always fronts it up. Whatever. I mean, to be fair, I was talking to him throughout the game. Bits and bobs. First off, I missed a lot of what he said, but even throughout the game, he's saying, after 5 minutes, he was like, "You guys are the better team." He was like, you fully deserved it, and we actually did, lads. Yeah. Regardless of anything, what anybody says, regardless of what this win means, we deserve to win that tonight. We absolutely deserve to win it. But Daz, you got a lot to run through, fella. You got a lot of room.
Don't worry, I've got a few pages here, that's for sure. Just reposting some tweets to let people know we're live. Right, let's get into it, boys, because we've got to go through the team news first of all. This is the Newcastle team. Popey was dropped, and boy, did his replacement do well tonight in Ramsdale. Ramsdale is in. Big Dan Burns starts. Didn't have a bad game either, in fairness. Botman was on the bench. Barnes starts. Big Nick, we knew, was out due to sickness, and Ramsey is back after sickness, and I'm sure he's sick again after what he endured on the pitch from that ref sending him off. But we'll get into that in a few minutes. This was the Man United side that took to the pitch as well. Boys, thoughts on the Newcastle lineout?
Yeah, big shock, lads. The big shock is the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper situation. Aaron Ramsdale comes in. Nick Pope gets dropped, and for me, it absolutely is dropped. It's not rested. Yeah. It's not injury. He was dropped. It's the first time I've seen that from Eddie Howe with Nick Pope. That's for me, lads. Yeah. It's a big statement. That was a big statement that what Eddie Howe saw from Nick Pope and what he's been seeing is not acceptable. That is a dropping. There's no doubt about it. Big statement that in the team. Look, great to see Ramsey back in. Obviously, I'm sure we'll talk about it as well. There was the question marks around Botman and Byrne. I had a heated debate with Fumbi before the game even kicked off. We were going back and forth about Byrne and Botman, etc., etc. But yeah, Botman on the bench clearly was fit because he came on at the end, big header to see us through. But as Chris's internet, man. He's got the best internet out of all of us. But anyway, I'll carry on. Looking at those changes around the team. Obviously Barnes back in the team, Alanga keeping his place, which I'm glad to see. We'll come on to that later on. Yeah, just some of the changes were great. They really were. And look, I'll throw it up now. While just as Chris comes and joins us again. We have had an early super chat come in from Benny Boy. So Chris,
cheers, Benny Boy.
Chris is here. Can you see that, Chris? Yeah. Super chat from Benny Boy. He just popped it in, so I thought might as well bring it up now. What a result! While buzzing, a part of me is frustrated. Chris, you mentioned that before. Where the hell was that versus Everton? How can we go from looking like we never played football together to winning with 10 men versus in the inform Man United team? Great super chat, that spot on from Benny.
Don't worry, Benny Boy. We'll be talking about that a bit later, and I'm sure Chris will have us down for Champions League again later in the show. But Chris, your thoughts on the Newcastle lineup?
He's there. Can you hear us, Chris? He's there. But he may well disappoint. He may well disappear. But that you tell us about the lineup. There we go. He's got it. You tell us about the lineup.
For me, the shock was Pope being dropped and Ramsdale coming in. And like you boys, I was on the same page. Ramsdale hasn't shone when he's had his chance, but he shone tonight. So credit where credit's due. That was the big one, and I suppose we knew that Eddie'd find a way to get Big Dan Byrne in, but Botman on the bench, he must be getting frustrated, Botman, at this stage. But I'm going to carry on and go through the game because 2 minutes in, Chips, he has a chip and he hits the post. It was a cross, but unlucky that it didn't actually go in. A good fast-paced start from Newcastle. Let's skip forward a bit to 12 minutes. Alanga volley wide of the post is a set up well for him. 13 minutes. Barnes shot just wide of the post. Should hit the target really at that one. Great work by J7 to start the move and to lay it off before Barnes' shot. 19 minutes and Tonali on the half volley just wide of the post. So early chances, and as Chris is going to jump back in to join us, it's been all Newcastle in the first 20 minutes. Newcastle had 5 attempts to the 1 of Man United. Alanga crossing is a poor. I want to say more than that, but it was poor at that stage. J7 has been class in the first half. This is at the 30-minute mark. He's been absolutely unreal at this stage, showing some nice touches and providing some leadership. Newcastle countered J7 on the run, but he should have probably passed it off. There was a chance to play in Gordon or maybe even Barnes at one stage as well, but he kind of blasted us over the bar. This is on the 33rd minute. 37 minutes, J7 picks up a yellow and applauds the ref for handing out the card as well. So he joined Ramsey on a yellow then at this stage.
I had flashbacks, by the way, Daz, of I forget which game it was that Everton were playing, but I had flashbacks of Grealish, where Grealish got booked And then he just kept going to the referee, and I'm thinking, Joe, stop it. Because he was literally like looking over at the referee, and he was proper giving it loads. And I thought, he's going to get sent off.
Tonali put out
Sandro stopped him. Yeah.
He had to, because it was ridiculous. Like he's one. Like, look, we'll get onto Joelinton's performance in a second, but he's a locker room leader. He's a leader in the change rooms. He has to know that he needs to do better in that moment. Yeah. And this is it. Like, if people are looking up to him as one of the leaders in the team, he has to then act like a leader. Yeah. And in those moments, he can't be doing that. He can't be doing it. It was just to mention those yellow cards, lads. For me, just really silly yellow cards, unnecessary yellow cards. You could argue that they were really soft that the refs giving, but for those kind of decisions, it is normally a yellow card. And it was, the thing about it is, we had the better of them. We didn't need to do that. There was another player coming in on both times, Ramsey and Joelinton. We didn't need to pull them back. We had enough quality there and enough will and enough endeavour in our performance to be able to get that ball back. We didn't need to do it. Just really silly. Just a couple of silly moments. But absolutely, just wanted to kind of put that out there. But you're absolutely right with the Tonali thing, Chris. 100%.
Right, we're on the 40th minute now at this stage, and Alanga run crosses into Barnes and Byrne, but comes to nothing. 41 minutes, a good save by Ramsdale from Kobe Mainoo. 44 minutes, another good save from Ramsdale as Cunha gets away from trips and shoots, and Bueno on the follow-up, he makes an absolute mess of it and puts it over the bar. Then here we come to the controversial parts where, here we go. Ramsey, played in by Gordon, penalty shout as Ramsey goes down, right? Would have looked a really soft penalty because he does connect with the ball and it goes out. But the ref points. The ref doesn't give a penalty. The ref turns and gives Ramsey a yellow card for simulation. There's no way that this should be a second yellow and equal a red card. He does not dive. He does not ask for a pen. But Newcastle go down to 10 men. Here's some of the pictures to match that. But boys, this was absolutely ridiculous. This second yellow card. Fair enough if he dived and was looking for the pen, but he didn't. Thoughts on this? This ruined the game, really. This
Chris
intervention.
Mate, I just, do you know what? And it's so underrated, and people often say this, and it is so true. You know, you look at sometimes as a referee or as a fan. You just look at the players and you see the natural reaction of the players, and that half the time tells the story. Now, when you watch it back, you see Jacob Ramsey, you could argue he slipped, he's lost his balance or whatever's happened. As soon as he bowls and then sits up, he's not like this. He's not screaming, he's not saying penalty. None of the Newcastle players are reacting. He's not asking for it. He's not asking for it. He's like I say, he's either lost his balance or he's had a slight knock. Maybe you could argue maybe there's a little bit of contact there from Lemons, but as a referee, and I wouldn't mind, boys, because for a small period, it felt like 10 minutes, but it won't have been that long. For about 5 or 10 seconds, you can see the referee's not quite sure what he's going to do. And then he decides in his head, right, it's not a penalty. Well, in that case, he must have dived. And it's like, you've got to use common sense. Jacob Ramsey's not running over to him, screaming, saying penalty. If he was, or if you saw, all the Newcastle players reacting and saying, ref, it's a pen. Nobody was doing that. Nobody. So for him to then automatically think, right, it's not a penalty. Well, in that case, I'm going to book him for diving or simulation. It's just, it's what's the expression? It's putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 5, and it's like you don't need to do that. There is occasions where you see something like that happen, and okay, you look at it and think, right, okay, it's not a penalty, but the lad has either lost his balance, he's tripped, there's a little bit of contact, but not enough for the penalty. and you look at the players, you look at the reaction of the players, particularly Ramsey, and when you watch the replay, he's not asking for it. He's not asking for the penalty. So, you know, he just kind of sits up and, you know, gets up, and then obviously the referee comes over with the second yellow. And at this point, you're just thinking, oh my God, like, could this be any worse? This period that we're in at the moment, where things just feel, well, it feels like everything's going against us, and you just think, you know, the midfields looks brilliant tonight, and you know we were functioning really, really well, and it was just so undeserved. And again, it just shows, doesn't it, that you know there's incompetency, and the referees are just inept in this league. It really, really does. And it's frustrating from our point of view as well, because as we know, VAR can't intervene with yellow cards. And that is what makes it really frustrating, because obviously the impact of that second yellow meant a red. So in my opinion, you know, VAR should be able to go, hang on a minute, you've got this wrong. He's not asking for the penalty. But that was my view of it anyway.
Oh, Pete, what the fuck was going on there?
Put it simply, the refs are either crap, corrupt, or both. People in the chat, vote for which one you think it is. That is either crap, corrupt, or both. Just put it out. I'm just putting it out there. Get that vote up if you can. People, let us know. We've got 500 people in the chat. Make sure we hit the like button and do all that good stuff. But that's my opinion on the referee. It's that simple. It is that simple. It's a disgraceful decision. I do have to say, to begin with, Jacob Ramsey, you know, I mentioned about the yellow card. It was a silly yellow card to get to begin with.
Yeah, it was.
Jacob Ramsey was playing well, and he had every right to go for that ball, and he gets the touch on the ball. But he does minimal contact, but it's contact. It just because a player goes to ground doesn't mean that he's dived.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He got that touch. When you're running at speed, everybody knows it's played the game. When you're running at speed, even the slightest of touches can set you off balance. And that's all that's happened. And he's falling down. You haven't seen him with his arms up going, ref, penalty. He's not done any of that. Is it your arms on the floor because he's down, because he's been caught very slightly. It's not a penalty. He never called for it. And it's even worse that the referee made a decision that he wasn't confident in. You look at how long it took him to make a decision about that yellow card. He kept looking over at his linesman. He kept listening in his ear. He had no idea whether it was a dive or not. So if you're undecided, you don't give a yellow card. You give the player the benefit of the doubt. It always happens. That's the standard procedure. If you don't know for sure, and you don't know 100% that is a dive, you don't give it as a dive. And there was no way that's a dive. And everyone, and even Man United fans, are saying the same. It's a ridiculous decision. An absolutely ridiculous decision. And you know what, lads? It very nearly ruined the game. Because actually it was a good game of football. Newcastle were end-to-end, all action, you know, power, pace. They were trying to get us on the counter-attack. It was a good game of football. And then that happens and you're thinking, well, it's ruined the game. Well, boy, was I wrong. And we'll get into that later on. But look, it was a disgraceful decision. Again, the referees are just an absolute disgrace this season. Honestly, how many more bad referees are we going to get? And there's a tweet from Dom actually that was out during the game. Dom Skir from the Geordie Journos, top stuff on his stats and various other things. And apparently, Peter Banks was the I think the VAR. It might have been for the Villa game. I could be wrong on that. I haven't got the tweet to hand. He might have been the VAR for the Villa game as well when we were in a position.
He hates us.
Of being screwed over. So exactly that, Daz. He's got history with Newcastle United, and he's just made an enemy of a football club tonight. He really has.
Well, that just might spike the corrupt votes in the poll with that statement there, Pete. Just put it out there.
Yeah. To coin a phrase, you're absolutely spot on in the chat. I'm not going to repeat what you said, but you are absolutely right. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, disgrace. If the votes are up, get voting, people. We've got 560 people in the chat. If you're on X, come over live to YouTube. Give us a like. We just got a massive W. Give us a like on the back of that. Come on, people. You know it makes sense.
You know it makes sense. Is an attacker. Get in the chat. With Osula's in the chat. Get in the chat. Come on. Right, Pete. Boy, were you wrong. Not for the first time you were wrong, Pete, because Positive Pete was wrong with predictions as well. But we won't get into that yet.
I'll take it. I'll take it all day long. If I keep giving wrong predictions and we do the reverse, I'll keep doing that until May. I'll keep doing it until May.
Shout out to Keith Roll. Remember Keith's predictions in the past. But anyway, let's get back into it, boys, because 48 minutes. Where am I going in my pictures here? Gordon is taken down. He's in the box and he's taken down. He runs at Bruno Fernandes and is taken out of it. The ref points to the spot. Was he feeling a bit guilty? VAR agrees with him. Penalty for Newcastle. Gordon steps up to take it and he applies the finish. 1-0 Newcastle. Newcastle. The keeper went one way. But Gordon goes straight down the middle. Goal for Gordon. Boys, was there ever a doubt?
Never in doubt. Never. We can doubt him on his one-on-ones and his in-game finishing. But there's one thing you cannot doubt with Anthony Gordon is that when the ball's put on that penalty spot, he is going to dispatch it. And different technique, straight down the middle, something different. I think that's a good move from him, because it's going to keep keepers guessing. Keepers are not going to know which side he's going to go. But you know what? First thing I saw pop up on socials when that penalty was given was Mark Goldbridge chatting absolute nonsense about the fact that was never a penalty. Are you having a laugh, Mark? Not that care, but like, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The fact that he thinks that wasn't a penalty. It was blatant. Bruno knew it as soon as he did it. When you're stopping him by going knee to knee, it's a penalty. Blatant contact in the box. No question. It's a stone waller. That's what it is. And we deserved that after the ridiculous decision a couple of minutes earlier. We absolutely deserved to get that penalty. And as I say, dispatched nicely by Anthony Gordon. At that point, I was thinking, I'll take that 1-0 at half time. Boy, was I wrong. Again, this is the common theme here. But Chris, come on, man. Talk to us about it. Is he there?
No, he's got
on, man. This is going to become a feature on this show.
It used to be my internet. Now it's Chris's internet. I shouldn't have sold my internet, my second-hand internet.
Talk to us about your side of things for the goal, man. Come on.
Yeah, you look at. I was never in doubt, I suppose, with Gordon and Pence, but it just with this game when it was straight after, there was so much is happening that it could have. Chris would say something like the mentality monster that is Gordon, and but yeah, no, he even took an extra pause before he struck that ball and going straight down the middle to get the finish was absolutely class. Still, I was thinking, you know what's going to come in here, because what always happens when we score a goal. Let's carry on, because it happens again. Casemiro connects with Bruno Fernandes' free kick. A little picture of that connection as well. And it's 1-1 right before the break of 53 minutes. Again, minutes after taking the lead, we surrender it again. What is it with Newcastle? Pete, thoughts on Man United's equalizer at that time?
Again, Dom Skir with the stats. 3 minutes. That's all it took. 3 minutes for them to equalize. And actually, there's a great tweet out there. I'll try and grab it. I'll grab it in a second. Dom Skir. He runs through all the minutes in which it's taken to either get a goal back when we've scored one, when we've gone a goal up, or when we've equalized, whatever it was. It's literally like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, like all the way through. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Clearly it's something that they've worked on, but again, I've got to ask the question, why is Lewis Hall coming up against Casemiro? Maybe it was due to the run that Casemiro made. Casemiro is always dangerous from set pieces. It's the one thing you can guarantee. We've already suffered from it many a time, including the cup final, three odd years ago. We know that he's good at set pieces, so you've got to have someone that's physically capable to tussle with him, to be able to put him off balance or to win the header in that moment. Hall, I don't blame Hall, by the way. He was caught cold because he ran across him, but he was ran across him quite easily with no one tracking him. That's the point that I'm making. And look, this is the only negative that I'm going to say about Aaron Ramsdale. Just thought he could have done better. The fact that he ends up on the floor like this, like right next to his post, he didn't need to. The header was literally down the middle of the goal. If he stands his ground, he literally collects it easily. It's the only negative I'm going to throw at him. Friday. You know what? I'm going to put it up now, just whilst it's there. Friden's saying exactly the same, just as I'm saying it. But maybe he could have done better with a 1-1 goal. Pope probably would have saved that. But then you could argue some of the other saves that he made later on in the game from Ramsdale. You could argue that Pope might not save it. It swings and roundabouts with these two goalkeepers. We know it is. But that's the only negative I'm going to say about Ramsdale in this whole game, by the way. So I thought he was very good overall. But yeah, I just thought he could have done better in that moment because the header actually goes in the middle of the goal. And he didn't need to be that near to his post. I just thought he could have been a little bit better. But that's just my assessment. Daz, you might have a different opinion on that. With regards
I was just so frustrated that we threw away a lead again, and it's every week. And you said it numerous times that we have to keep talking about the same thing. But I just reminded me then when we were talking about Ramsey, who had a great game tonight. So he's up there for a man of the match contention, and there's a few. But before the game, I caught a bit of the pre-match chat, and it showed a whole load of howlers from Nick Pope this season, and it's just like we definitely need if we know it already, but we need to sort out our goalkeeper situation, big time in this summer. And look at throw Gauntlet down to Ramsdale. The position for me is his to lose now again. So let's see what he can do until he messes up and Popey's back in again. But that took us to half-time, 1-1 at half-time, but down to 10 men. So it was going to be a massive effort in the second half for Newcastle to get back into it. Christopher, welcome back. Not your night on the old internet front.
Mate, it's just, do you know what? It's just very frustrating. So apologies to all the viewers at home and obviously to you boys as well. But hopefully it will. It's been terrible the last few days. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's only on here.
Don't worry. Swings and roundabouts with a bloody Wi-Fi at the moment. Across everyone's. 1 minute is great. Next minute's shite. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Blame the war. Right. That's another story. Right, second half. A sub. Joe Willock is on. Barnes is off. 52 minutes. A team shot from Gordon, comfortably saved. Newcastle still performing and the better side with 10 men. This is after about 55 minutes. 65 minutes of VAR penalty check for a handball off Man United, but nothing came of that. 65 minutes as well, and I know Chris, you were in our chat about this. Corner to Newcastle. Gordon was free. He had a free hit, really. Kind of misconnected with it. It was a nice little move from Newcastle, but he should have finished. Finished that. But yeah. If you
talk about it because you missed the equalizer.
Yeah.
So
Well, you've got me. Do you know what? It was a lovely move, wasn't it? Straight off the training ground, that one. Sandro Tonali floats it in. right at the very, very back post, and only Anthony Gordon's reacting to it. So clearly it looked like a training ground move, and all he had to do was just get a half decent connection on it because there was a lot of pace on the ball. But clearly something that he worked on, and it so nearly worked out. And I was like, oh my God, if he'd have just slotted that. Oh, yeah, it was a huge opportunity, and I'll be honest, boys, when he missed it, because it was such a big opportunity, and as I say, if he'd have got it on target, I think it's in, barring a miraculous save from Lemons, because he was free at the back post, he was there, and yeah, it was weird though, because when that opportunity was missed because of how the second half started and how well we were playing, I was thinking, is that the chance? Is that the chance for us to nick this game? Don't get me wrong. I wasn't thinking that potentially we were going to lose the game, but I thought, is that the chance to get the 3 points? Because it was such a big chance. But thankfully it wasn't.
And I borrow Pete's move. Boy, were you wrong.
Yeah.
Right, let's keep going. That can become my team. 74 Mats. Great save from Ramsdale again to stop Yarrow header. He pushed it away as well. Again, note to Nick Pope, he pushed it away. Ramsdale taking one for the team as he goes down, and some words on the sideline from Eddie and Co.
Yeah.
Sub 84 Mass, Jacob Murphy on, Alanga off, Osula on, Gordon off. Yeah, Newcastle then can't get out as Man United pinned them in. 88 minutes, another Ramsdale save from a Zerky shot. 89. Here we go. This is it, boys. This is the one that's coming. I've got a few pictures here.
Does, just before you go on to that, and tell me if I'm wrong here, I think it was the Xerxes shot. I was straight in the chat to me blue mate, and I was like, that's save of the season, by the way. What a save that was.
Yeah.
What a save that was. Oh yeah, he shut me down immediately, but I was like, that was a hell of a save.
I wonder why. Yeah.
It's always good to plant the seed. You know what? I reckon that's why you can't get into there. I reckon all of your blue noses are loaded into loaded. They've loaded into loaded right now. That's why you can't get the signal. The area is clogged up with all the blue noses coming into loaded Mag NUFC. We thank you. We thank you.
Yeah. I mean, or else they're voting for save of the season. They're trying to get in early for that.
Yeah. But no, mate. I was just going to say, to be fair, the Reds and the Blues are quite happy with us this season because obviously, given where they are in the league, that was quite a good result for them. So yeah, I had a few people in the office today saying to me, make sure you beat them tonight. And I was like, don't know about that. But yeah, lo and behold, we did. So yeah, I've got quite a few very happy Reds and Blues with that because obviously it benefits them in terms of the league position.
Right, boys. Osula, absolutely outstanding here. From my recollection of it, he wins the ball back and lays the ball off to Trips. He continues in running down the line. Trips finds him with a beautiful pass. Osula keeps the ball in. Somehow he keeps the ball in, and then he cuts inside and curls it into the far corner. Here's some pictures to match that with Osula goal. And it is absolutely class. Cue the celebrations from the man as well. I want to say this too. Let me see. Where is it? I get those goosebumps every Wilisa. What a goal from Wilisa. Boys, thoughts?
W to the chat, people. Come on. You know it makes sense. That goal was insane. It was an insane finish. Wow. What a goal. Unbelievable finish. Unbelievable piece of individual brilliance from Osula. You put that image up a second ago, Daz, of when he's almost like he's already struck the ball and he's like straight-legged. And then you show the other image there, the next one, where it's like the bend he puts on that, forget bend it like Beckham, it's bend it like Osula. This is what it's all about. Bend it like Osula, because that is an insane finish. A goal worthy to win any football match. And we deserve to win that football match. And we absolutely deserve to win it in that manner with that type of goal. It was unbelievable. I was just like watching it and it went in and I'm just like, what am I witnessing right now? What have I seen? Got to be up there. Got to be up there for goal of the season. You can't say that, Everton. You can't say that. Goal of the season. Have your little saves. Goal of the season. But yeah, it's an insane finish from a lad, that hasn't got many chances, and there's been question marks of when he has been given chances that he hasn't produced. But if there's anyone in a game like that that can do something and create a little bit of chaos, it's that man on the screen right there, William Osula. He creates chaos wherever he goes, and that goal was absolute chaos. It created chaos in the Gallowgate end. You could see the fans just going absolutely mad, mental, and well-deserved. And the fact that Gordon and a few others ran from the subs bench to go and celebrate with the lads, you could tell they knew how ridiculous that goal was. Unbelievable. Chris, come on. Tell us.
You know what? I've been back in my brains as you were talking then, Pete, trying to remember which game it was. Because it was weird. When Osula's running down the line, and, it's easy to say now, hypothetically, isn't it? But when he was running down the line, because you could see, obviously, the position of the defender, like, I'm thinking in my head, just cut in. Not necessarily to do that shot, but I was thinking just cut in, and then you can drive in the box, and then maybe a player will be running in or something like that. And it was weird. Because as soon as he opens his body out, as soon as he opens his body up and then he hits it, I don't know about you boys, as soon as it left his foot, I knew it was in. I knew it was in. Somebody put it in the chat earlier, and it was a great comment. It was something like William Osula with like the most aggressive like chop back you've ever seen. Because he does them step overs, doesn't he? And then he chops the ball, and you think, whoa, like if anybody else did that movement, the ball would go like 20 yards the other way. But he does this like really aggressive chop, but like he still manages to keep control of the ball. His legs are like Bambi, and they're flying everywhere. And you can see like the players who he's running up against, they're a bit like, hang on, what's this guy doing? Like what's going on here? And then in that split moment, you see, he spots the opportunity and he just hits it, but he gets so much bend on it. And from the replay, and Daz, you had the picture up there, Lamons he's stood still. He's like, because he hasn't even got time to react. And he's probably thinking as he's hit his split, in that split second moment, maybe for the split second, he's thought, it's going wide. And then it just bends. And it's just, oh, God. And like that's why my throat's a bit sore. I'm screaming the house down because it's just a brilliant finish. It's a brilliant moment, and I made up for him. He's such a raw talent, isn't he? He's such a raw talent. But you hit the nail on the head, Pete. Every time William Osula comes on, it's chaos, and sometimes that's what you need. And Daz, I'm going to throw this up now because I've just started, and it was a question for you in relation to this. And Rich Joelinton says, Daz, is Osula the Maverick you never knew we had?
I was thinking this, the last comment was about Max, and I was there. Was Osula watching the show and go, I'm going to show them. I'm going to be the Maverick.
Yeah. Of course he was.
Hey? Of course he was. Fair play. If he wants to step up, he's more than welcome. We need the Maverick. And look, he ticks the box as in, like, no one knows what he's going to do. He needs to do more of it. He needs to be able to do that. He needs to be on the pitch more. But who knows what would happen in the future? It wasn't my initial thoughts to Rich Joblin, but you never know.
And Rich is bringing us back down to earth here because he's saying, lads, let's not get carried away. And Rich, do you know what? We're enjoying the moment, mate. But I do take your point. I take your point. It's one win. It's a fantastic performance. We've gone and got the 3 points against an informed Man United, by the way, second in the form table at the minute. And you know what, mate? We've not had a lot to celebrate this year, let's be honest, this season. So yeah, I'll admit I'm dining on this. I'm dining out on this because we need it.
No, you have to go there, Chris. Go on.
No, I'm not going there just yet. No. I need 3 or 4 before I do that.
But I'm with you, Chris. Like, look, we've sat through it, and like, look, everyone that's watching the show now that watches us on a regular basis, week in, week out, show in, show out. We've all had to, whether you're in the chat, putting questions in, or chatting amongst the chatters, or whether it's us on the panel, like, we've had to sit through some absolute dross. We've had to sit through some horrible reaction shows where we do not want to talk about Newcastle United because we're fuming. But when you get a game like this and a moment like this, like William Osula, and you get those 3 points, you got to enjoy it. This is what football's about. Yes, it might not mean anything in the grand scheme of things of this season, but it's a big win against a big club, regardless of what we think of Man United. They're a massive club, and they're 3rd in the league right now. And they're, like Chris said, they're top in the form table or close to it. And we're anything but that. And we've gone and put that result in with 10 men and been the better side. Come on, we've got to enjoy this, people. It might not last.
In what's a busy and a huge few weeks for us, Pete. We know what games at the weekends. You know, with FA Cup, and some people are saying, rightly so. You know, it is a lot of attention now going to go on the FA Cup and the Champions League. Absolutely. So to do that, to do what we did tonight with 10 men, showing that fighting spirit, defeating a Man United team who, as you rightly say, Pete, you know, they've been resurgent Man United in recent weeks. 2nd in the form chart, flying at the moment, 3rd in the league. Like, you've just got to enjoy it. And with 10 men, boys, with 10 men.
Exactly, and also like the injustice that was done earlier with Ramsdale, with Ramsey being sent off, and ruining a game where we were well on top at that stage, and we all thought that they're going to eat into us, erode us down, and eventually towards the end they're just going to pick us off, and we're going to lose this 2-1. But was not to be. They never got into gear at all, and we stepped up with 10 men as well.
Bruno Fernandes, Brian Mbeumo, Mateus Cunha, Benjamin Sesko. They had their strongest team available. You throw Casemiro in there, you throw Kobe Mainu in there. Harry Maguire, who we thought might not play, was playing. Luke Shaw was playing. They literally had their strongest team, pretty much that's available. They had everyone that they would have wanted available, and they had them with an extra man. And apart from a couple of saves that Ramsdale made, a couple of good saves, I might add, other than that, they didn't put a patch on us with 10 men. Come on. Babo's in the chat. Big up, Babo. He says, great show, lads. Big up, Babo. Big follower of the channel. We go way back. We go COVID times back. It's great to see you, man.
Yeah, we go back a long way, right? Back at the time of the watch longs with who was the guy that was always complaining? What was his name? I can't remember. It'll come back to me again. Right?
Yeah. What was his name? Oh,
even when we scored.
With the and his lights weren't working.
Oh, with the dark.
Yeah, he's always in the dark. Kieran.
Yeah, he was a legend.
Anyone that's been with us back in the day, you'll know. You guys would.
Kieran, man.
On the old match day lives back in the day, COVID times. Chris, I can't believe you remember that. That's great knowledge. We'd all be celebrating like, women scored.
And you'd see him arguing with his dad in the background. His dad would come in the bedroom, and he'd be going like, you'd see him talking, going, I'm on the show, and brilliant,
good times. But anyway, look, that pretty much brought Tonali to come off, Botman come on, but that took us to full time and breathe. A victory for Newcastle, 2-1. W's in the chat. And Eddie Howe took a big sigh of relief as well at the end of that one, and he deserved it in fairness. Boys, I'm going to get your thoughts on the game as a whole, but I want to go straight to the team photo because that is out as well. This is it. Lean in, everybody.
Lean in. I love that. Lean in, people.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. It's like they throw Will Osula at the front, as he should be.
Yeah.
Love it.
I see Ramsey in there as well, just beside Willisa. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Lewis Hall's going, no, that's my spotlight. It's my spotlight. Love it. Everyone looks
where's Jacob Ramsey? Oh, there he is, behind Lewis Hall.
Yeah, Daz has said next to Hall.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Right, boys, thoughts on the game as a whole?
Where do you start? Like, first of all, we were the better team. We started like a house on fire. Chalk and cheese from Everton, as what's already been said. Chris, I think you mentioned it earlier. Chalk and cheese from Everton. Yeah. We came out, we had intensity, we were aggressive, we were willing to work our socks off. Even in the first few minutes, we were just outrunning Man United, winning the ball back. The amount of recoveries we won back, and we're on the attack constantly. All the front players looked dangerous, and I just thought we looked the better team, but we just weren't putting that finishing touch. That final ball just wasn't there. Barnes had one where he took the shot where he should have laid it to Alanga, who was free. There was another one later on in the half that should have been given. I think it might have been Joelinton. Takes a shot, blazes it over when he should make the simple pass. It's the final ball that's letting us down. It's not anything else in the build-up. It's that final ball in that moment for this game in isolation. And it was like, if we can get that right, we're on to win this game. But I love the heart, the disappointment of Ramsey going sent off. I love the heart and desire. Gordon taking it upon himself to go and run at those defenders, create the opportunity to win a penalty. For me, he doesn't do it enough. Opposition fans hate it because they think he's diving. For me, he's winning penalties. That's what Anthony Gordon does well, but he hasn't been doing it enough recently. In the last year and a half, he hasn't done it enough. He needs to do it more. He needs to run at players, get into the box, commit defenders once he's in the area, because he's got the pace and the ability to chop in and out of players and create those moments. He needs to do it more often. So hopefully that will give him the kickstart. We get the penalty, deserved. Disappointed to concede. But the second half, lads, I'm looking at Man United. I'm like, how are these third? Because we're outrunning them. We're outworking them. We look like we've got 11 men on the pitch for so much long in this game. And it's just so good to see that we were defensively solid in that second half. We didn't give too many clear-cut chances away. They had to take pop shots from long distance to try and work Ramsdale, because defensively we were solid. Fair play to the team for that. We worked really hard. I thought the players gave everything on the pitch. They didn't let their heads drop with sending off, and they kept working and working and working. Every single one of them. You go through the team. I'm going to give, look, there's some obvious players that get shout outs, but I'm going to give a couple of shout outs to players. Kieran Trippier, and a few of the lads on the Mags Down South chat were saying this, but Kieran Trippier was targeted from minute one by Man United. If you look at their switch ball, every time Lemons had the ball at his feet, he was hitting it to the right-hand side. And they had somebody up there targeting him every single time. But you know what? Apart from a couple of times where he might have just had that lack of pace, which is natural because he's 35 years old. But I tell you what, his positioning was absolutely spot on. You know what? He got better. Even with 10 men in that second half, I thought he was absolutely flawless. I thought he was brilliant. That was the trips that we knew. We know his kind of ability and he's waning a little bit. His legs are gone, but I thought he was absolutely brilliant in that second half. That last 5 minutes or so, when he had Harry Maguire just sitting on him at the back post as a striker, and he dealt with everything, won headers, made it difficult. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. He really, really was good. Other players, I'll just get one more because Chris, you'll probably come in with a couple of players as well. Joelinton was outstanding today. For me, he's my man of the match. I know he wasn't the match winner, but this boy, if we could bottle that performance up from Joelinton, if we could bottle that up and we could have that every week, you've got an absolute monster on your hands. Because that guy, look, Eddie Howe said it after the game about Joelinton, and I completely agree. When you've got that Joelinton, it's like playing with two players. It's like you've got two players worth. That's how much he gives. The ground he covers, the amount of recoveries he wins, the blocks, the press, the amount of times he just nicks the ball in positions where they could create something. Iniesta's right. He's a warrior. He was brilliant tonight. He was so good. He made the difference, in my opinion, at times. He covered the ground of two players, which balanced the sheet out, which allowed us to go and do what we did. And you know what? He did it on a yellow card as well. For nearly 60 minutes. He did it on a yellow card. I don't know how this guy does it, but he's just honestly, that performance was just sensational from Joelinton. So fair play to him. So give those couple of shout outs there. Look, Chris is about to come on. Daz, feel free to shout out. But just all in all, I just want to say it was a superb performance from Newcastle United. Under the cosh, okay, against all odds, 10 men, left corrupt. We still went and got the business done. And it's a massive 3 points. Will it change the season? We don't know. Let's wait and see. But it could be the difference in what is a massive week ahead for Newcastle.
I was going to go back on two players that you mentioned. First of all, Pete, in trips, I did have earlier in the game, but I had noted that he was done for pace by Cunha. But you're right, they were targeting that side. But I scratch it out because he's had such a brilliant game after. I thought it would be a bit of an injustice to mention it, even though I'll mention it now. But he was cramping up towards the end as well. He had a superb game, trips, and he put the ball out of play. There's Chris again, and won goal kicks instead of giving away corners as well, and just the pass to Osula, the assist, just absolutely class. Joelinton, another level. I think anytime he plays against Casemiro, he ups his game. I think that's like Bruno and J7 kind of, in a way, I think they look up to Casemiro, but he upped his game massively today. He was absolutely unbelievable. I think even Graham Bailey would be raving about what he would have saw, because he would have been watching that for sure, being a big fan of Carrick. Yeah. But while we're waiting for Chris to come back, maybe I'll mention Aaron Ramsdale as well. Just some of the and Nobby's in as well. He's been he was class tonight. Some brilliant saves, especially that one on Zerke as well. And when he was needed, when he's called upon, he was there. So yeah, he gets the number one jersey for me now going forward, and it's his to lose again.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be mad to take him out of the team for Nick Pope. Look, Nick Pope, you would probably say, he is a better shot stopper, but you wouldn't have known it tonight with the saves that he was plucking out at the top corners on a couple of occasions. Obviously, that's low down one from Yoro, which I kind of expect him to save, but the other two that he plucked out from Mainu and Xerxes were top class. But yeah, look, could anyone really argue him not getting the number one shirt for Saturday? It might have not been in the run up to this game. We probably wouldn't have had him as our number one for that game. We'd have probably said no, Pope in goal. But we've just seen too many bad mistakes from him. And as I said at the beginning of the show to you boys, that's a statement from Eddie Howe. That's a statement that's what I want to see more of from Eddie Howe. Being ruthless, going, nah, that's not good enough for our team. Get out. Earn your way back into the team. That's what I took from tonight with him dropping Pope. And why not? We've got nothing to lose, Daz. Got nothing to lose. The league was falling away. Nobody expects us to beat Man City at the weekend. Nobody expects us to beat Barcelona. We've got nothing to lose. Why not give an opportunity for players that have been sitting there waiting patiently and go, you know what? He's making mistakes. Go take your chance. Go take your opportunity. You know, for Joelinton tonight, he didn't set the world alight in terms of scoring goals, creating chances, but he took the opportunity when he come on the pitch and he worked his socks off. The amount of ground he covered, the amount of recoveries he made alongside Joelinton and Sandro Tonali, like he took his chance. He'll be, you know, if Jacob Ramsey is suspended on Saturday, we don't know if he is. People in the chat let us know if he is suspended on Saturday or whether it's Chelsea the following weekend. If he is suspended, then Joelinton may well get his opportunity to go, you know what, prove yourself. This is what we need to do now. We need to start sounding out some of these boys to say, are you up for the fight? Not for this season, but for next season and beyond. Are you up for being at Newcastle United? Are you going to show a little bit of grit and determination and put a bit of form together? Because if you're not, you'll be out. Yeah, you'll be out, and you won't be out. You'll be out. You'll be in another club wearing another shirt. It's, like you said, simple as that. And fair play, but that needs to continue with Eddie Howe. I need to see that until May. I don't want this to be just a one-off, or I don't want to see Pope in the team on Saturday because it's Man City and he's just reverting back. We need players to earn their spots now.
Yeah, there'd be a bit of disgruntled comments on if that was to happen. But let's go through a couple of our comments. New member Harry Foss, welcome to the channel, Harry. Welcome to you are now a loaded ultra. Thanks for joining us. Interested to know if you came over from X or are you just new in finding us on YouTube? But welcome anyway. I want to go. You already went to the one from Benny Boy earlier, the super chat from Benny Boy. Thanks again, Benny Boy, for that. But I want to go to another super chat from Alex Romero B. He says, I always said play Osula right wing, sell Elanga, keep Osula. I think if we were to sell him now, we'd still have to sell him. I have to sell him as a loss, and we're not going to do that. Elanga did all right. Elanga, his crossing, as I mentioned, was poor. Didn't set the world alight for sure. But
I thought he was good second half, Daz. I mean, he was okay in moments in the first half, to be fair. I mean, he ran his socks off. He made some good recoveries. But I thought him and Gordon almost playing as a two in front of that midfield three, second half. I thought he covered a lot of ground. And I thought he was... I just thought he was really useful with the ball. Normally, when we've been really frustrated with Elanga, he's been really careless with the ball and giving it away cheaply. I thought he kept the ball in tight spaces, won us a few really vital free kicks in dangerous areas. But this is particularly in the second half, and I thought, he held the ball up well when we needed it to get us up the pitch. I thought he worked hard with his press, covered a lot of ground, and I thought him and Gordon actually linked well together as a two up there, pressing high. For long parts of that second half, so I didn't have an issue with Elanga from that perspective. He tired, so did Gordon. But as the super chat mentioned, I have to give a big shout out to Daryl. We know Daryl. He's normally in our chat. He's a great lad. He is a massive Will Osula fan. He's always backed Will Osula, even when his guys have not. So that one's for him. That one's for Daryl tonight because he's not been in our chat tonight, but I bet he must be buzzing at the fact that Will Osula scored that goal, and he's always been an advocate for him to be playing, whether it was on the right or up front. So fair play to him for that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he gets more minutes. If he can keep doing stuff like that, then who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. No, he deserves a shot and definitely a few extra minutes for sure. Let's go through a few members' comments as well. Sophie says, "Well done, Eddie Howe. Well done, all the lads." Whoa, that's a big one from Sophie. Sophie going big for Eddie Howe.
Sophie, have you fallen out the wrong side of the bed or something? What's going on? What is going on? This is not like Sophie, but you know what? I like that balance. I like that. We praise when they do well. We criticize when we don't think they have. Balance. This is what we are as a three. We're balanced. We'll praise when they do well, but
sometimes a three.
Yeah, he's back. We are.
Yeah,
Chris,
I can't see Keith, but I've seen you.
I'm just saying we're balanced. Oh, he can't see me. He can't see me. I'm telling him that he's balanced, that we're balanced.
Chris, you're balanced. Pete says you're balanced.
Balanced,
yeah. And he also says, "Where's your shades?"
Oh, I didn't say that, you lie.
I wasn't going to wear them.
He can't even see me. He can't even see me.
I can see him now. I can see him now.
I never said anything about the shades. He's trying to screw me over.
Oh, is he?
See me.
Pete also said, "Chris, you are
Don't listen to him. He's talking nonsense." Oh,
right. Let's move on. Chris, sorry I took over your chat. Do you want it back? No, give it back to you.
No, it's fine, mate. Do you know what? I just wanted to say I couldn't hear what I didn't pick up what Pete was saying, about man of the match, but just to add, there was a clear man of the match for me tonight. And I think Pete might have chosen him because I did see a picture. I didn't know what Pete said, but I saw a picture flash up. For me, I thought Joelinton was absolutely incredible tonight. Yeah, incredible. The Joelinton of old, and do you know what? If only we'd seen more of this season. Like he was everywhere. And I actually started a comment from earlier, which I loved. And weirdly, I showed my daughter Summer. I showed her the TikTok of Dominic Szoboszlai when he was asked who's the hardest player you've come up against, and he says Joelinton beast, and it came up in the chat, and I was like, do you know what? Absolutely right. He was an absolute beast tonight. He really, really was. I'm looking for it now. I can't see it. But yeah, he was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And it's that Joelinton that we need, isn't it? It's that Joelinton we love. And when he's playing like that in that midfield three, we just look better. And I think that, that allows Sandro to do what he needs to do. And also somebody else put in the chat, and it was to coin a phrase, it was a great point. He said, will it put a great second half shift into? And he absolutely did, because obviously we saw the change, Harvey Barnes come off, and then it looked like we turned into a 4-3-2, and Joe Willock sat on the right hand side of that midfield, but I thought of the midfield three, and I thought he was great. I thought when he come on, he did really, really well, and obviously we played with Verbruggen and Gordon up top, but great second half performance, boys. Really, really good, really, really good, and it was really uplifting to see that.
Absolutely. Right, maybe we'll get a question, boys, and I'll put it towards you. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see one of the questions. Right, well, Geordie Racer Luke wants to ask a question. Would Verbruggen have saved that?
Who knows? If anyone saw the goal that was conceded tonight for Brighton, then you'd probably say no. It wasn't all his fault. It was a deflection, but it looked a bit of a howler in real time. Not going to lie. From Verbruggen, but as been reported by our good friend Liam Kennedy, the Geordie Journo, Verbruggen seems to be the first choice. To be fair, from I've heard it in the last 24 hours. I've heard it from 3 different people that I've spoke to that he's our number 1 target. Which I'm not mad at, but there's a little bit of pain. Just here. I had hopes for Robin Reeser to come in, but it doesn't look likely. It seems like that, he might be the target. But we had targets in February last year, and it never materialized. So I'm not reading anything into this right now. As much as I love Liam, and Liam knows his stuff, and he's brilliant. Yeah. So make sure you're watching all Geordie Journo's content. Make sure you're listening and reading to all their stuff that they write. Dom, Liam, Jordan, they're brilliant guys. But yeah, I've just made a conscious decision. I think you boys are the same. Is just go, you know what? Reports in March are reports in March. I will listen to it at the end of May, in June, July, and August. That's kind of where I'm at, and I think you boys are the same. Yeah. Do you know what? Just to touch on Verbruggen,
I remember when Brighton first signed him, and obviously he was just breaking into the Holland team then. I think he was becoming the number one for Holland, as the number one goalkeeper. And don't get me wrong, I liked what I saw of him, and I like Verbruggen. Is he an upgrade on what we've got? Yeah, he absolutely is. My issue, and it goes back to what Pete's mentions. My issue is the fact that he's going to cost a lot of money, a hell of a lot of money, and I worry because I don't know. I think Brighton are going to want upwards of 40 million.
He's got 2 years left on his contract. He's got 2 years at the end of this season, and that's normally the golden bridge point. It's like you either sign a new contract or you move on. And it seems like because of Newcastle's interest that he has no intentions of signing a new contract at Brighton. So it might be that if he's turned around, this is just all hypothetical here, but if he's turned around and said, I want to move on, and Newcastle have already put their cards on the table, and I hope they have. I hope this is the kind of thing I want Newcastle to be doing, is tying up deals before the season's done so we can get them done nice and early. And I hope this is the case. But it'll be the case if he's turned around and said, yeah, I'm not signing a new contract, I want out, and then Newcastle showed interest, and it's like, okay, let's do a deal. But yeah, you're right. It won't be cheap. It won't be cheap, but you got to think like he plays the way that Eddie Howe wants to play. He's one of the best distributors of the ball I've seen since Edison. Like, that's the one thing I can take away, like his build-up play. And Maz has talked about it, and Adam's talked about it previously when they've been on our channel, about the way he brings the ball out of play. Like he is perfect for that. But I've always had question marks about his ability to save. Like, what my requirements are for a goalkeeper. They need to be 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". They need to be up there, big, tall, commanding the area, but they need to be a good shot stopper. My priority is not ball at the feet, but that's Eddie Howe's priority. So that's probably why he's gone for him, if this is the case. So I can see it, but I just worry that he's not the shot stopper that I think we need. But I could be wrong. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. But would he have saved that one for Casemiro? Yes, I'd be confident that he would have.
Yeah, I like Verbruggen. I think I mentioned him before, going to know when, but I did mention him. And I know we're all in for Trafford in the summer, and couldn't see past him really. But yeah, and I know in the Irish Mags chat, Sean Casey has been mentioning him. Because I only get to skim it really. The chat about 2 weeks ago, he's been all in on him. Right, we'll move on because there's kind of, I want to kind of group a few things together here. But first of all, the poll was the ref corrupt. 25% he was corrupt. 36% said crap, and 39% said both. There was 173 votes for that one. So leading into that, because you asked the question, Pete, what was the story with Ramsey's suspension now? Sophie says he's suspended for the FA Cup, and Tom says unless they can appeal the red card, and Sophie says yes, they can't appeal to yellow. So stuck with that now. On that front, which is a pity when he shouldn't have been sent off. Just a few more. If you spot a question, jump in. But just a few of your comments from Horizon Zero. Rob, Trippier, absolute warrior. Second half, massive. 100% agree with that one. Horizon, absolutely class. Jordan Luke says, well, lads, that was rather sensational. Get the fuck in. Yes, no need to abbreviate here. Say what you feel.
Absolutely.
So Goalpost says, big uploaded members, spread the word. Hashtag loaded mags. Nice one, jumpers for Goalpost.
Love it.
Get in there. The Clonet says, Ramsdale was like an extra man with his feet today. Yes, he was class. And again, no one was afraid to pass it right back to him as well. You'd notice that when Ramsdale is in goal.
Just to add into Aaron Ramsdale, and I don't know whether you boys noticed this, and I'm not Corvin Colbort on anything. I thought Aaron Ramsdale made some absolutely outstanding saves tonight. And sorry if you've already touched on this, but what did Woody?
He's doing this on purpose, man.
When Man United were getting corners, when the corners were coming in, he wasn't coming out to claim the ball. I don't know whether you boys picked up on that, but it really made me nervous. I've got to be honest. It really, really made me nervous because I was just thinking, just come and collect it. Come and take the ball. But it was as if he didn't want to come off his line and he didn't want to, come and claim it. And I thought, we need that. That's what we need in a goalkeeper. And if anything tonight, it's proved to me that, as well as Aaron Ramsdale's played, and I'm not taking anything away from him, but as well as he's played tonight, it's proved to me that, which we already knew, but I'm hoping it's proved it to Eddie Howe as well, that between Nick Pope and Aaron Ramsdale, long term, they are not the answer.
Yeah, agreed.
Just on that, like Ramsdale's never been good at commanding his area. That's always been a flaw in his game. But what he does do is what was mentioned in the comment from Conrad. He's almost like an extra man with the ball at his feet, and that's what Verbruggen is.
Yeah.
He's that extra man because he can come out far with the ball and be that extra player that like Dad said, you can trust with zipping the ball into him. And he's going to control it and he's going to find the next man. And Sesko couldn't press. Sesko could not press because he'd be wasting his legs because Ramsdale was just chopping the ball nice and easy, laying it off. It's easy, but that's the bit, and you're going to get teams that will exploit that. They've exploited it with Nick Pope, who's meant to be better at commanding his area. So if Ramsdale would like to stay on his line, it just puts more pressure on our defenders. Our defenders then have to defend it. They have to win the first ball. Because if they don't win the first ball, it's a high chance. Because he's stuck to his line, he's not in a position to make moves unless it's coming straight at him and he makes that instinctive save. Anything left or right of him is pretty much going to go into the net. So it's a dangerous game when you've not got a commanding goalkeeper. And there is downfalls to unless you've got a player that can do the lot. Like even Donnarumma, who is arguably the best goalkeeper in the world, is no good with his feet, which is why Man City play a completely different way in comparison to when Trafford, who will probably play at the weekend, will play in goal because he can progress the ball really well. And so it's very hard to find a goalkeeper right now in the world that can do everything. Every goalkeeper I look at now has a flaw in his game. Even Alisson right now has flaws in his game, and he was a world-class, best in the world goalkeeper for years. He's got flaws in his game. Edison's finished now at a high-level goalkeeper. Like, it's very hard to find a goalkeeper that has everything. So it's all depending on what Newcastle United want. And look, going back to your original point, you're right. It is a problem in games, but we're going to have to defend better, stronger, more physical. We're going to have to win the first ball. Exactly what we did tonight. To answer that question, Chris, we have to continue doing that because that's the only way we're going to keep the ball out of the net. It's that simple.
Shout out to Dave Bullman as well in the chat. He says, deserve win, love beating Man U, roll on City.
Yes.
On that one, Dave.
Yeah.
Right. We see question for you first, Pete. Do you think Hall would have let Brian Mbeumo out of his pocket yet?
That's one of the worst games I've seen Brian Mbeumo play for Man United. Yeah, I love the guy. I still feel a little bit sick that we went for him, and well, apparently we went for him, and he went to Man United. Obviously, Man United got a superb player. He's better than I thought he was going to be. Like, he's kicked on a level from when he left Brentford. But tonight, he was not in the game. That's the most quietest I've seen him. And we could go through the whole team. We haven't even touched on Lewis Hall. That guy is just a phenomenon. Like Lewis Hall is a phenomenon. Like he is so good, so good. No one can chat to any of us when we say that Lewis Hall is the best left back in the Premier League. Nobody can argue it. Nobody can. He gets into any team. For me, he gets into any team in the Premier League. That's how good he is. Yeah. Probably even in Europe. He gets into any team in Europe. I'll even go as far to say as that. And the lad's 21 years old. All I'm going to say is give him the contract. Give him where to sign and extend it. He's a big player. He deserves big player money. Get him to sign the contract now. That's what we're doing.
You know what I thought was funny is the commentary team of Ali McCoist and Darren Fletcher. They was it Darren Fletcher? Or whoever, and they said that Luke Shaw should go to the World Cup for England. And they even mentioned O'Reilly. Playing in front of them was Lewis Hall. They didn't even mention Lewis Hall as a left back option. What was that about? Like, hello.
Come on, he was levels ahead of Luke Shaw. Look, Luke Shaw's had a great, he's had a good career. He's had a great career for England. Played well for England, boy. I mean, come on. He's 21 years old and he's absolutely he's just pocketing top players in the league. Salah before, Brian Mbeumo before that. You name any player and he's gone toe to toe with them. The guy's
Chris, one for you, and I think you started this one for a reason as well, and you even said it in the. Oh, do we have Chris?
I don't think we do.
I don't think we do. I think we'll come back to it when he comes back. I feel he's going to drop out in a second. Babu said, "Haha, Kieran catching strays, so listening to you guys while working." Nice one, Babu. But there's Chris gone again. Tino says the commentator said Big Joe is possessed. And Chris is on his way back as well for his question. Chris, are you with us?
Oh, yeah, hopefully.
Your question, Chris, when you started was, where was this determination versus Everton?
Yeah, do you know what, Martin? I felt the same. Lots of frustration, and do you know what? Not just Everton. You can look back at numerous games this season, but yeah. Do you know what? Someone else put it in the chat earlier. Is this finally where we kickstart? I mean, God, how many times have we said that this season? How many times? There it is. Attacker number 2. Just seen it. Has to be the turning point. 5 points off 7th. Let's go. Mate, do you know what? Honestly, attacker number 2. Jesus, the amount of times. Oh, yeah, see. I just, mate, I would just love, I'd love to go on a little run now. I really, really would. But, to borrow a phrase from Eddie, one game at a time, because we never know what bloody Newcastle's going to turn up on Saturday, do we? We just never know. Hopefully another rehash of tonight. That's what I'm hoping. But you never quite know.
We've got 2 massive games before we even can think about the Premier League, because the next Premier League game's away at Chelsea.
Yeah.
They don't get any easier.
Yeah. What a result, by the way. Talking of Chelsea, what a result for Chelsea, by the way. Aston Villa, their arses must be going like that now. I'm telling you.
But Billy's already calling them bottle jobs, by the way. Billy's already calling Billy bottle jobs. People in the chat that watch the show regular will know. They were obviously flying, and he's already calling bottom jobs. He reckons they're done. He reckons they're missing out on Champions. If they miss out on Champions League, we had a conversation in the chat the other day. If Villa drop out, if Villa miss out on Champions League, is it a bit of bigger bottle job than if Arsenal don't win the league, which they look like they are going to? And everyone said Villa would be the biggest bottle job. You can't be 8-9 points clear in Champions League positions and then drop it back to Man U, Liverpool, and Chelsea, who have had very indifferent seasons. Wow, crazy. We did them a favor tonight. We did them a favor.
Gaz Newcastle says, does it make you mad, lads, knowing that that they are third in the league? In the earlier part of the season, we are much better than them, and tonight. Yeah, I think you kind of alluded to that earlier, Pete. It's just kind of shocking. I think Chris could be gone again. Let me see what else we got here. He's alive.
Moving slowly. Moving slowly.
Jumpers for Goalpost says only one question for you, lads. Who's that team we call United? Who's that team we all adore?
Oh.
Nightwave says, lads, do you think this is finally the corner?
Oh.
Don't do it to yourself, Nightwave.
I hope so.
I can't do it. I can't even think about that, about turning a corner. I can't. Not right now. How many wins, or should I say, what wins will make you think that we might have turned a corner? Like, what would have to happen?
And City and Barcelona.
So if we get a win against City in the cup and we beat Barca at home, that's when you might start sitting up and going, hang on a minute.
Not for me.
You want more?
No, it's not even that. I'll be honest with you. For me, turning the corner is not anything to do with the FA Cup or the Champions League. Turning the corner is the Premier League. I need wins against Chelsea and I need wins against Sunderland.
It's true.
They're the two. If we can get those 2 wins, that for me then gives me the impression that we've turned a corner.
Yeah.
That like for me, like with the Champions League, we've had good form in the Champions League. We've done all right. Like, I'm not worried about that. Like, I'm not worried about it. I'm not saying we're going to go and absolutely smash Barcelona. We probably won't, but I'm not worried about the Champions League because these boys will get themselves up for the Champions League. They'll turn up. I'm sure they'll turn up and give Man City a right go on Saturday. And the fans who were brilliant tonight, again, at St. James's Park, you could hear them constantly singing and chanting. We need more of that, by the way. We need the atmosphere there. I know the football and the performances aren't there, but we need anyone that's in the chat that was there tonight. You were brilliant, and we need more of that on Saturday. We need to get behind these boys because they need any help that they can get right now, and they're going to need that until May. They'll turn up, and as fans, we'll back them 110%, and we'll do the same against Barcelona on Tuesday. But it's Saturday or next Saturday, whatever it is, 5:30 at Stamford Bridge. That's when I need to see a performance again.
Yeah.
At Stamford Bridge, they're not great. Yes, they beat Villa, who are in poor form right now. And then I need to see us turn up at against Sunderland at St. James's Park. We need it. We need that more than anything. We need a big performance against those boys. So they're the ones. If we win those 2 games, and it's 6 points out of 6, and we're probably going to be in the top half of the table with those 2 wins, then you're going, okay, back to back. We've got the international break after that. Maybe rumours of Bruno potentially being back after that. Then you can say, you know what? Possibly turn the corner. We've got then a run of fixtures that are potentially winnable. You're looking at it differently, but those next 2 league games are crucial for me.
Yeah.
For me, I'm still not getting anyways excited about anything to do with the league. I'm just going to class it as being wrote off and take any bonus we get along the way. If we were to miraculously find ourselves in a good position, brilliant. But I'm just kind of in a way thinking about next season already. Even though there's plenty to be done with regards to FA Cup, Champions League, and see what does rumbles around the league. But I'm not getting. Well, we can enjoy tonight.
We can.
We have enjoyed it with the show. So I think we're kind of wrapping up on it, boys. We're probably bringing it to a conclusion. A great win again for the lads, and they have deserved it for the performance tonight and battling with 10 men against Man United, and really showed up, and some big performances as we said, from the likes of Joelinton, from Ramsdale, from Trips, from Osula with the winner, and so on. Well done, Eddie Howe, as well, getting things back on track. Any kind of closing remarks you want to make, lads, before we shut it down?
I'm still buzzing, man. I'm still buzzing. Like, got work tomorrow and need to get to bed, but I can't sleep. I'm just like, bring it on. I'm gonna go and watch the game again. That's how I feel right now. I'm gonna go watch the game again.
Don't do it, Pete. Don't wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day. Just what you need, right? Let's see. Let's shut down the show. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new as well. We will be back again soon. Next up is the Man City in the FA Cup on Saturday with a kickoff time of 8 p.m. But yeah, we'll be back for a reaction show for that as well. Let me see. What are we playing out with? Play out with this. Have a good night, everyone. See you next one.
His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. Joking how? Everybody's joking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over. Say, lose yourself in the music, the moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself in the music, the music, the music. The music, the music, the music. You better never let it go. Back to the. You better never let it go. Darby is an attacker.